Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a real quick video for you. I know I just said that I wasn't going to be trying the new Happyland signature fragrance, but I decided to pick up a sample, and I have to say thank you to EJ Wells for sending me a full bottle. That was very, very nice of you. I appreciate that. There's a lot of juice, trust me. Fire hose atomizers, and it's very strong stuff as usual, so a bottle this size, I believe this is a 1 ounce, it lasts an extremely long time. So I'm very excited to try this. The last release was Cripple Creek. It seems like he's putting a release out about every month or month and a half. Cripple Creek, I didn't really care for this. I liked it, but it's not exactly something I would wear on myself. And when I saw Gaelic Mist being released, just judging, I didn't watch any reviews or anything like that. I didn't even look up the notes until just now. I just assumed it was going to be a sort of a spring fresh sort of thing with the, yeah, nothing create. I shouldn't say not creative, but nothing crazy with the label. You know, he always likes to do a little spin. This looks just like a normal label, just with green. Um, and wow, oh boy, that cap smells really good. Okay, this fragrance. This is a first impressions. I just sprayed it. This is really I up my alley. I suspected I was gonna really go for something like this, and I mentioned that I really enjoy, his thicker scents like Diabolique, thick, rich, or Happyland Signature, or even Fou de Fafa. But I've been missing some of his freshy, kind of more fougere style scents. I don't know what you would categorize this as, but oh my good lord, it's good. I'm gonna read you what he wrote about it. Inspired by a trip to Scotland. Okay. Oh god, it smells good. Which included about 5 days spent exploring the Highlands. The landscapes were breathtaking: the hills, the lochs, the ruins of the castles, and the mist-filled valleys. I wanted to design a fragrance that would remind me how it felt being there, and this is the result. Okay, definitely. I mean, I don't know a lot about Scotland, but this certainly would make me think of like Ireland or something like that. Just the green hills and everything. And the notes I'll read you are lemon, orange, fig, iris, rose, violet leaf, sandalwood, vetiver, oak moss, cardamom, and musk. So I have this sprayed on a tester, and it's a bit interesting. When I sprayed it, I wasn't actually getting a lot of a scent. I'm like, I obviously I primed the atomizer, but I wasn't actually picking up a lot. I'm like, oh, is this going to be a really light scent? So I set it down and went outside, and then I could just, how strong these scents are. I could just smell it emanating from my office. So I think it's a scent that takes a second to really kick in the way that it's blended, perhaps, because I could certainly smell it outside of my office. And the way it smelled outside my office was a little bit closer to akin how the cap smells, which is this fresh, citrusy green, sort of almost a touch sporty. It does actually comes across a touch sporty, not in a like designer kind of bad way, but almost like a polo kind of fragrance. It kind of reminds me of that. Now, when I first sprayed this, there's a lot of lemon. I'm getting a lot of a citrus, I guess lemon and orange, but I'm picking up more of like a lemon vibe. It's very fresh. It's very, very fresh, very citrusy. And I'm getting some green notes. Now we have rose, violet leaf listed here. I don't know what other green notes are in here, or like what sort of aroma chemicals or whatever is going on in here. But to me, it smells like a nondescript sort of green thing, which I actually like. Green scents can sometimes be a little pungent, like violet leaf is in here. Violet leaf can be a bit pungent and masculine. Or certain green notes can be almost like sour or astringent, like, gray flannel is like got a ton of florals and greens in it, and that's a very pungent fragrance. But like certain green scents, like green accords, can smell like grass and things, and it kind of almost gives me that vibe, like like a lot of citrus mixed with just a nondescript green accord of like almost like fresh cut grass or fresh plants or something. Like if your house was just filled with green plants everywhere. This is kind of the smell I would expect to smell, that green smell. Nothing that pokes out in a way that's like not pleasing to your nose. I was kind of expecting like a fougere, because he does have some old school masculine scents. Like Homeland is kind of an old school fougere, a little bit of a hay vibe going on there, a little bit too masculine and old school for my tastes. I mean, I guess there's Barbershop, which is very old school and masculine, not exactly the same as this. So I was kind of looking for something like that just to change it up, but I also didn't think I was going to be totally into that. I would enjoy it, but maybe it'd be a little bit too masculine for my tastes. But this is not like that. This is just so fresh and so wonderful. It's very fresh. That's the best way I could describe it. This is a very refreshing, energizing scent. That lemon is just so fresh, and the green note, I want to know exactly what it is that's in here. This is one of the best green accords I've ever smelled in a fragrance. I'm not bullshitting you. I mean, this is just my first impressions. I have not worn this or anything. It's just on a tester. So the interesting thing about this is that when I sprayed it, I smelled all, that I described to you. And then I got hit with this note that I would actually describe as a touch sour. And I kind of was like, ooh, what's that? Because he always puts a weird little twist on his fragrances. And I'm like, there's the twist. Whatever this note is that I'm going to pick up, that's the weird twist he put in here. It was like kind of, I don't want to say pungent, but almost like sour. Like there's some odd thing going on in here. And I think that some people might not like that. I will tell you that I'm not smelling it anymore on this tester strip, and I'm actually struggling to really pick it up. It's almost, I dare say, like a touch like musky, skanky almost. Not in an oud way, but it's just weird. I could see someone not liking that. It goes away pretty quickly, but I liked it. I thought that's a unique, weird little thing. I kind of dig that. And the more I smelled that, I'm like, I really think this smells like cannabis. Like it smells like a pot plant. It doesn't say that cannabis is in here. I know he has a cannabis scent called Geranibus. I've never smelled that. But I would be damned if there is no cannabis in here. If there isn't, then there must be a scent or a note in here that is giving the illusion of it, maybe combined with some others. I'd like to know what that is. If anyone has experience with cannabis smells and fragrances, or what can give the impression of it, I'd like to know, because I am absolutely picking out a sort of cannabis thing. I like cannabis. I mean, I like cannabis, of course. Look at me. But I mean, I like the smell of cannabis. I think that good pot plants can smell, have a nice smell, I think. I personally think they can. They smell hoppy and lemony, and I like it. I mean, I have candles with cannabis scents in them, and I enjoy it. That's kind of what I'm getting in here. It's kind of going away. I kind of actually wished it stuck through, but I guess that's what Geranibus is for. I'll have to check that one out. But yeah, and I'm also getting a powdery sort of vibe from this. Not super strong, but I wonder, like, it really makes me think in some ways of like, it doesn't smell exactly the same, but a very similar vibe to like Prada Amber Pour Homme. The dry down of that is very powdery, and it has these like semi-sweet spices in there. Some green notes that are a little ever so slightly masculine and astringent, but also like a couple sweet sort of spicy notes. And that's what I'm getting. The dry down is very powdery, or not the dry down, but what I'm smelling now, powdery, fresh, green citrus with a touch of sweetness. Maybe there's some sweetness coming from the cardamom and the fig. I have no experience with figs, so I don't even know what fig really even smells like. I mean, I've eaten figs before, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what they smell like. Maybe I'm getting cardamom and fig coming from here. And maybe iris is perhaps that weird note that I'm smelling, that one that's like a bit odd. I think there's iris in, what's the fragrance? Blue Fire? Maybe there is, or that's orris root. Maybe they're the same thing. I'm not exactly sure, but that might be the slightly odd note that I'm smelling, the kind of skanky almost sort of smell. Which I like. Again, I'm reiterating myself now. You might not dig that, but I think that this is. I'm not going to wear it today because I'm already wearing a fragrance, but I really like this. First impressions are very positive. Definitely much more positive than the last one. Not to say that's a bad fragrance, but this is like, two thumbs up so far. This is something that I think is going to be absolutely stellar. It's got that freshness, it's got the powderiness. It makes, it's like after the shower, you sometimes want a clean, almost semi-soapy, powdery sort of scent. That's what I'm getting. So that's Gaelic Mist. Yeah. There's been a couple fragrances that are Ireland inspired. I know he said this is Scotland inspired, but that I wanted to get, but I think that this one will be the one. I think that this will be that when I want to go out into the woods or something, this will be the one. So I look forward to giving that a full wear. I'll do a review, or I'll do a live stream, or I'll do a full review of it or something. I just want to give you my first impressions. Very, very positive. It's very good. I recommend you try a sample if you're into that sort of scent. Very, very good. Yeah, that's it. Take care. Peace out.